Hello, guys. This is Shar. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Now, this is a short video about last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Last night being Sunday, June 8th. Okay. Now, this is not a recap of the entire episode, but this is just certain parts that I thought was tripped out. Okay. Now, look, I'm going to start off by saying that, want to give prayers, the prayer warriors for Shemea Morton's daughter, okay? To our understanding, she does have like chronic illnesses, chronic things that's wrong with her. And, do want to pray for her daughter's recovery. You know what I'm saying? But, just because you're precious baby, Shemea, and she is precious baby is sick or sickly, we cannot steer away. And I'm not saying that Shemea is acting sad or bringing up her daughter or whatever for sympathy from the viewers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying just because, she allowed the cameras to share with us issues with her baby, we can't steer away from, what's going on with Shemea. And who knows, because of the issues with her baby, this might be why she's so, not absent-minded, but this might be why she feels like she can't stand up to Portia, meaning she can't take on another heavy situation. Like she got too much on her emotional plate. Her heart is too heavy. She can't take on another heavy conversation about nothing, no matter how minute the topic is. And that might be true, That's a real thing when they say, I got too much going on, got too much on my plate. Mentally, emotionally, you can't take anything else. And that might be where she is. You know what I'm saying? And the fact still remains, though, Shemea, you got smoke and attitude and passive aggressiveness, just like Miss Brit Edie said, passive aggressiveness, the smoke, sass, quick wit, shade, and everything else for everybody except for Portia. And, I get it. She's been a friend of yours since y'all was knee-high to a totem pole. And you just can't see how this girl don't see it for you, for real, when she feel like you are in the race with her and running shoulder to shoulder with her, neck and neck with her. She only, got all this love for you when you behind her. And when you got on the show, first of all, she knew you were probably always excelling, I guess, in front of her. Because in real life, you got the big, rich African husband. You got the massive home, yada, yada, yada. I don't know about before the husband, but, definitely since the husband, Shemea has the picture in the life that Portia wanted, for sure. And I believe with an African, which is why she went and stole and grabbed up that lady's husband, Simon Gobadia, while he's sitting up in ISIS, getting ready to be deported back to Africa or Ghana or wherever, right? So she has the life that Shemea has the life that Portia wanted. But the thing was, nobody knew. So now that she's on the show, everybody knows. So now she knows. She's aware that nobody really thinks that Shemea is behind you as far as money or status or any of that. I don't know. She might think she look better than Shemea. Who knows? You know what I mean? But as far as status and money, who got the big house, who got the cars and this and that and the Rolls Royce and all this stuff. We see that Shemea is ahead of you in that, right? So that's what she's mad about. And then, of course, when you come on the show and become a fan favorite and people start liking you and loving you and this and that, that's out of Portia's control. And that's what she does not want, because now Shemea comes on to the show that she was the star of and starts taking over fans and popularity. Everybody love her. We see that she's really got it going on financially. Portia is livid. So Portia is going to try to keep her foot on Shemea's neck, literally, to keep her down, to keep her, realizing that you're not better than me. and you don't got it going on more than me. And the way to do that is to really just dismiss her. Don't own up to the friendship, her not being a good friend. you know Act like you don't recognize her voice and say, is this Drew Sidora? Not show up to her wedding, come to her birthday party late, all that stuff, right? And God only knows what's happening in real life. This is all happening on the show. So, but really quick though, we still have to call out Shemea for just really having smoke for everybody except for Portia. And even though your heart might be heavy, you know what I mean, and you tried it. You tried it when you tried to bring up that one little time. What was it? Season, not season, but episode before last, when she did try to have a talk with Portia or whatever on camera. And Portia basically shut it down, and whatever Portia said, she took it and was just like, you know what, we talked about it, and we've had a conversation, and we're good now. And according to Shemea, she's fine with that. It ain't resolved-ish. You know what I mean? The resolve would be really giving her an explanation why you didn't come to her wedding, why you, whatever it is, whatever the list of things that Shemea got on Portia, she didn't really, she's squashing everything. And that's cool with Shemea, as long as she could kiki with her and sit in the back seat of the Uber and still kiki and laugh and talk. That's really all Shemea wants, to cover up the real and still just act like they cool like that when they're really not. You know what I mean? And it might be a situation where your best friend or close friend that was once like a sister to you, you might have to let her go if she keeps not really seeing it for you. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. And what is this with you, Shemea, getting live with Brit Edie? Like, what did Brit Edie do to you? Now, mind you, when I heard Shemea, I literally was thinking that Shemea brought 3 rolls of paper towel. For real, for real. The way Shemea explained it, like she just came rolling up in her Rolls Royce with her Birkin and had 3 rolls of paper towel. Because I believe that's what she said verbatim. But when they rolled the clip, I think she had like maybe 4 rolls of toilet paper, a couple of boxes of tissue or something like that. She may have had some paper towel too or whatever. I don't know. Could she have given a lot more? Yes. Did you tell anyone how much to bring? No, because most people who, are asking people for donations to some type of charity, they don't really tell them how much to bring. That's at the person's discretion. So, I mean, to clown her about it, it's just in bad taste. And it's also in bad taste for, well, I don't know. I was going to say it was also in bad taste for Brit Edie to not really bring a whole lot. But just because she didn't roll up with a whole truck full of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just because she didn't spend $8,000 or $5,000 on a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Could she have? I guess, the way they acting on the internet, that Brit Edie and them don't really got the funds like that. They just kind of got the token material things to make it seem like they really got it going on, but they kind of don't. That's what I'm hearing. Don't know if that's true, but even if it is, even if it isn't, I mean, what she brought is what she brought. Could you just, shade her to yourself or maybe to a close friend or whatever, which would have been Portia, right? I guess you could have, like, girl, she ain't really got it going on like that. She brought 3 bag a paper towel and call it a day. But to kind of sort of make a big deal out of it, especially on the show, it's really just making you look bad, Shemea, to be honest, because you are chastising and belittling a giver. However, whatever she gave, you know what I'm saying? And then as far as Brit, to get on Brit, don't sit up here and be lying. I'm going to have another truck come in a minute. Girl, they having this shit get picked up in 30 minutes. What are you talking about? An hour. Truck ain't here in an hour, then, But that's pretty much how Brit wanted it, because she probably never had a truck coming, right? So yeah, is Brit wrong? Not really. She being cheap, yes, I guess. But it depends on what financial level they are on. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been hearing that they really ain't really about that rich life like they trying to act. They just got the token articles to make it seem like they do. But again, it's really just making Shemea look bad, talking so much mess about the girl and what she brought and what she didn't bring. Okay, seriously, it really is. And this may be why that Brit Edie kind of was getting back with Shemea because of, the energy after the whole them giving the articles to the charity or whatever. She probably kind of noticed that she was kind of tripping on her, like, you ain't really bring nothing or whatever, whatever. So instead of just telling her that, it seems like not Drew, but Shemea tried to, like Brit Edie say, be passive aggressive with her. And, Brit kind of was giving it back to her. And was kind of telling her, what's up? Why you being passive aggressive with me? You know what I mean? What's your beef? In other words, like, why are you trying to go down my throat? Which is why I am so glad that Drew is continuously driving home the fact that Shemea is a lap dog. And you are. And you are. Shemea, you are. You mean gonna own it and take this L seriously. But in all actuality, she has. Because if she keeps saying on every outlet that she goes on, if being loyal to a friend is considered being a lapdog, then I guess I'm a lapdog. Yeah, you are. Because you can only be loyal to a fault. And you're going over and beyond. Over and beyond. And, I think it's a total double standard. And I guess because of this picture that came out, allegedly that Brit Edie, just recently came on the internet streets and said it wasn't her. And now she has a lawsuit against Andy Cohen and them, bravo. And I'm hearing, she may got something or whatever. Even though she said it wasn't her, I don't know. I don't know if it was her or not, right? Because they didn't show it. But she said the fact that, Bravo, the producers of the show wanted to make it seem like this is her, and it just made all the girls, give her the side eye and, kind of question her like, well, dang, have you been an escort or are you escorting? Hell, are you involved in any freak offs? Like, I mean, are you selling the pee? Like, what's really going on with this? You know, and Brit Edie is like, this was humiliating, degrading. I kept having to explain myself, and these type of questions was coming up with all the girls, especially Drew. And, this all came about because of Bravo, was this tried to create a storyline around this. And at the end of the day, wasn't even a picture of me. So she, very well may have a solid case there. But we'll see, right? We'll see. However, whatever, if she don't have a case and nothing becomes of this, she'll never be on Bravo again. She may not even make it on to another reality show anywhere, right? She may not. But, anywho, like I said, with all the smoke that Shemea has been giving Sidora, Sidora reigned in this season with her funny outfits and bad outfits and, being pretentious to agree. Drew gives that pretentiousness, like she thinks she more than she is or something. But don't get me wrong, I like Drew. But she does. She has a level of pretentiousness about her that gives off a little like corny or fake. Do y'all feel the same way about Drew? I mean, even though I like her, but she still gives off this little pretentious kind of fakeness, corniness, something. I don't know why. But nevertheless, despite it all, Drew name has been in a lot of the girls' mouths for the entire season. And then for Andy Cohen and them still try to be humble her and belittle her and put her at the end of the couch. It's like, okay. Angela, I don't have much to say about Angela. I like Angela. Angela is copacetic to me. She kind of gets with the girls. She gets back with them, in her own way, which is good. She's holding her own. No complaints with Angela. You know, she a brave one because, I feel like her and her husband have their own situation and how they are and act with each other. But to the naked eye, which is the viewers, the people of the show, and I believe the girls on the show with her, they kind of feel like because her husband acts a little distant and nonchalant, that means that he don't love her and he ain't really into her or whatever. That man got the opportunity to get a divorce from her anytime he want. He may just be an asshole. Some older men are like that. They become grumpy and old, and you know, they get off on constantly going left on everything instead of going right. You know what I mean? So the fact that it's their anniversary and she giving him a call, he like, oh gosh, she's just trying to be so cliche and call me during the anniversary night. I ain't gonna answer the phone. You know what I mean? Is it bold? Yes. But, he may just be an honorary one like that. He could be. You know what I mean? It seems like he is. That's what he's giving to me. What do you guys think? But, yeah, nothing bad to say about Angela. And then Kelly. Kelly, she's almost like a little barking chihuahua. And she started off being my favorite. In all honesty, though, I do love her vivaciousness. I love her energy. I do. I like her, but for you to be constantly trying to come at Drew as well, it's giving why. Like, what did she do to you? Like, did she say something to you off camera that don't nobody know about? I think we've asked this question already. Like, and then for you to try to call her out and say she has a problem with everybody at the table, she doesn't. Really just Shemea and Portia. She ain't really got no beef with nobody else. But anyway, that's pretty much it, y'all. And just the yelling match that Brit, Edie, and Shemea had, you know what I'm saying? I think Brit would eat her up. I mean, long as she don't hit her in the breast or the mouth, maybe. I don't know. I feel like those teeth would just fall out, sticking all together. But long as she don't hit her in the breast and in the teeth, I really think that Brit Edie would eat on Shemea. What do y'all think? But anyway, y'all, that was it. That was just my commentary on those little parts. The rest of it, kind of boring. I don't even want to talk about Phaedra ass. Faye. Oh, I did want to play this real quick. Oh my God. I hope this video don't be long. But I wanted y'all to listen to, for those who did not Watch What Happens Live. Andy Cohen told Drew Sidora to sing some commentary about each of the girls. Let's listen.
We want you to sing one thing that she needs to work on. Okay, so let's see who's up first. It is Portia. What does she want to work on?
Portia needs to start telling the truth.
Okay. About any topic in particular?
All topics for life.
Okay. Next up is Shemea.
Okay, Shemea. Wait a minute. Let me finish. The bark is getting out of control.
She said the bark is getting out of control.
Next up is Little Kelly.
Kelly, stop talking and keep cooking the waffle.
Okay. Next up is Angela.
Oh, Angie's my kind of girl from the shop. We don't lie. Yeah.
Okay, your friend Brit.
Oh, Brit, the world wants to know, are you a O? And did you sell it?
Andy Cohen was looking crazy on that part.
Next up is Phaedra.
Phaedra. To this day, you're still fake. Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. I thought that was cute. I thought she ad-libbed really well. Yeah, I thought that was cute. I would have played Phaedra like, game over. I don't really got nothing to say about Phaedra because what is Phaedra giving? What did she give to Married to Medicine, and what is she giving on this? Phaedra is so overrated, and all that on the show. All she do is talk about people. She doesn't really have a storyline. She didn't really have a storyline over there at the Married to Medicine. She don't really have a storyline over here at the Housewives of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't. All she does is her contribution on the show is just really just talking about people for no reason. Like nobody really comes for her or says anything negative about her that I've seen as far as on this show. But yet during her interviews by herself, her one-on-ones, she reading everybody down, talking about their clothes, their looks, how they act, all that stuff. And it's like, why? Rubber lips? Why? And all she do is make faces. Girl, that is so 2021, 2013, 2010, when she was on there the first time. Girl, you got to bring a little bit more than that. Andy, I'm going to have to ask you, she can't keep coming back and not giving nothing, okay? Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Please like the video, subscribe, hit your notifications, and until next time, guys, ciao.